So for those who missed the beginning, I'm here. There is literally a ice sheet just on the horizon from my point of view. I am on the coast. It's quite cold. So there's some elves down here. There's some goblins right next to me. And I know humans were available. Dump item, gather plants. I'm gonna like start losing them if this doesn't get solved. Snowstorm. Oh. I'm trying to think. If I did gather ice, if I gathered the ice, I can't think of how I would tell them to melt the ice. I mean, we have... I'm just a little flustered because there should be enough plants here to make just regular alcoholic beverages. I don't understand why they're not doing it. Brew drink from plants. Yeah, and let's add another one. Brew drink. I'm gonna assume I've done something wrong with these ones here. And maybe they've just not bothered making any. Melt it into a pool. Well, you know, also, no harm experimenting. We needed some rooms off to the side here anyways, right? So let's get that started. Could use actually a few more bedrooms. Oh, frig! I've lost my... Oh, how many? No! No! I mean, if that one is already gone... it's not going to be long before the others are too. Oh, you know what? They're already doing a lot of digging. Cooked all plump helmets. Yeah. Hello, by the way. No water source. Yeah, I know. No cookable item. Collect sand. I just don't see any evidence here that they've even tried making anything. Herbalist. Prepare meal. Gather plants. Dump item. You know what? You don't need to dump items right now. How's about you just brew and do nothing but brew? I have not paid enough attention to the mysteries of farming enough, so there are lots of things I can learn to do better there. Rock slab. Slabs we can make out of marble. Why can't you just be drunk? Why not? Why can't you just be drunk? Oh, please don't die. Please just do the thing you're supposed to do. What is the one I just said could do it, not doing it? He's sleeping. Okay. Bowyer, how would you like to join the brewing corps? I am almost completely certain we have enough material to do it with. Brew drink! There you go. He's going to do it. How many are going to die before he's finished, though? That is the question. Okay, we've got some water started down here. I mean, it's a bit far out of the way, but it does mean technically... Oh, I don't know about seeds. Got a cherry, a spelt, a white millet plant. Seeds, cave wheat. Permissions, acorns. Rock nuts, sweet pod seeds. I mean, I kind of want to keep them. They should actually be put to use. Let me... Uh-oh, we've lost another. It's a founder! No! I have been terrible about this. 2 founders. Finish making some drink, please. Save their lives. Apparently they don't see the water, though. Well, no, do they not have... buckets, maybe? Wood bucket. Let's make sure they have some. Wow. I am such fail. Find meal cabinets. Oh, man. Yep. Second Tanzanite. Dude, there's something to drink now. Drink it. Or maybe he didn't make enough, man. Well, I'm going to have to get them out of the way. Yes. Corpses. I'm just surprised they're not actually going after the water that is at least available. This is a fail! Now, oh, look at that. I've lost like half of them. And 2 founders alive. I don't even have a full set of people who can do anything. Founder Nightmare is gone. The rest of them are just horrified. You know what? I don't remember trading when the guy came last fall. Were there even... I don't think there were any traders. Does that happen? Wow. I'm going to have more ghosts than anything else. Now I especially need a very large migration wave. Assuming they're willing to come. Easy meals. There's plenty to eat. I think everyone who's left has had something to drink. That was awful. And all my fault. Completely no excuse for that. Now, if y'all wouldn't mind taking the bodies out. I don't know. I thought I had brewing covered. There must have been something wrong with the conditions on the rules that made it never happen. Because now they're doing it plenty. Just not fast enough. You know what, Mr. Miner? That's not a priority right now. That can wait for some future thing. I've already got other people doing brewing, that's fine. Now that the job is not bugged, I should enlist the child in dragging the bodies out. Shouldn't I be able to do that? That's an acceptable trial well, you know, thing they can do. Culturally acceptable that the child's drag the bodies out. Sort of give them, you know, a sort of a robust view on life from there on out. No PTSD for them. They're too young for that, right? Maybe I just need to tell them to stop doing anything for a minute. Yeah, like, stop that for a minute. No jobs, no jobs. Loom. Stop with the pots for a second. Farmer's workshop. Fishery. Still. Yeah, they're not really doing anything else. They're just hauling gear, right? Store items. Well, make those items those bodies, please. The more you have to walk past them, the sadder you're going to get. Okay, you don't need to be hauling stone. Hauling stone is a luxury. How are we doing on projects? Plants. I don't trust any of these. I think I must have done something wrong because that was what made the fruit not work. I've seen it work before, but it did not work that time. Oh, you know what? Step ladder. Make a couple of those. Get at that fruit. Oh, hey, a body has moved. Several. Okay, finally. Good. Good, 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 good. Now the challenge is, do we recover? Do we make it out of this mess? Oh, man, they've done all of that. See, there's water here. Should there not be water here? I'm going to take a couple of samples and see if maybe there is water under the ocean. Dude, this music is too upbeat for a massacre. A dumb massacre. It's also not very Dwarven at all. The survivors survived, so they're having a rave. There you go. With what instruments, I do not know. I mean, this feels somewhat irreverent. My camera is really not picking up on the headbanging very well. I can do the side to side. For the forward and back, it's like... maybe. Not really. I am determined I will not give up yet. I think a strong migrant wave can bring things back. But I do need to make some slabs. Post haste. 1 slab. Okay. Rock slab. Let's do 11 now. Marble. Never surrender. You know... Speaking of adding work to poor Toady... Oh, man. What am I trying to say? It randomly generates descriptions of poetry and music, and it'll explain the poetry and the music, but it doesn't actually make the poem, or the music. But what if it did? What if you could actually have a randomly generated Dwarven rave that was actually, like, emitted as sound by the game? It would interrupt that sort of the standard background music, and they would start playing something that's random and maybe not entirely pleasant. But now I want to make it. I want it to happen. I agree. The attempt should be made. I wonder if there's some way I can fit that into my data science degree. I want to make a random music generator, please. Can I get credit for that? Now I just need to figure out how to do that. How does one get funding? There must be a military application for random music, right? You could play it on the battlefield to confuse the enemy. Please give me $1 billion. Yeah, we got an angry dwarf. But only 1 so far. That's kind of shocking. Did we find out if there was water down here? No. This part's dry. There's an aquifer over here. Well, a light aquifer. But not under the ocean. That's kind of strange to me. You would think you could at the very least dig down to the same water level that is the ocean itself and get, if you were out here this far, the sand might even have filtered most of the salt out of it. Problem is, all the projects now are going to go a lot slower. Miner, what do you do? Jewelry, farming, butchery and tanning. Well, having torn out all those jobs, I should put them back in. Process plants forever. I will worry about what I did wrong later when things are less horrible. Oh, manager. That's right, I killed off everybody. Founder Demon Rat, you're a manager now. Oh, first Bloodthorn, you're also a medical dwarf. Second Asparagus, guess what, you're a Broca. And Granite, oh, Tansnite. Oh, yeah. Alright, none of you have any skills in those areas, but you're about to get them. Which probably means, which one? Medical? Bloodthorn. Mr. Bloodthorn, if y'all wouldn't mind learning some healthcare. Finish off those bedrooms. Certainly no competition for bedrooms right now. What do you do with the frozen ocean? What do you do with the frozen ocean? What do you do with a frozen ocean? Why don't you tell me? Is this still a sea shanty if the ocean is frozen? Is there such a thing as a ice shanty? Man, I wonder what it would be like living on a world where the oceans were frozen over and your whole civilization was based on, like, skating across the surface from one resource to the next. That could be a story that someone writes and illustrates. Yes, make me some brew. Keep the supply going. And let's see. Yes, the slabs. Oh, I need those engraved. So bad. Tanner shop, mechanic clothier, phyllite pot. Engrave, engrave, engrave. Yeah, 7 dead. Annie, hello. I had a disaster. How many are left? 7. I lost exactly half of my population to thirst. Dehydration. Thing is, I'm not quite ready to, like, just pack it in, you know? There may still be a migration wave, and it might be one of the big ones, and I could go from 7 to 20-something 7, and then maybe be able to, you know, salvage this situation. It's spring. Okay, so I think only a year has passed. Yeah, I did years and years of YouTube before I even came to Twitch. I'm a latecomer. So I've got lots of editing experience. Just not enough attention span to do both at the same time. They couldn't have done them all, could they? Alt-S. They have done them all. Okay, Alt-S. I'm putting these slabs in a temporary place on display so passersby can read about the fallen dwarves. I'm getting confused because I have to... Whoa! Hello. Are you trying to scare me? Thank you for subscribing. You're literally number 2. Ever. Like I said, I'm kind of new here. I often find, like, you know, you got Photoshop, and then you got GIMP. And if you spent all your time on Photoshop, going to GIMP is hard. Because it seems complex. But it's complex only really because it's different. But it's actually the same amount of complex. And it's probably different because legal, like, you know, Adobe has all of their sort of standard practices locked up behind patents. And so the alternative that's free has to be weird and hard to understand because they are not allowed to do the same thing. Ah, Sharky's a good egg. Sharky is a good egg. Yeah, well, I know people who still use the old stuff and do very well with it, so you probably should just keep doing that. And what happened if we... Oh! Caravan! Oh my god! Actual... exciting music for Caravan! Alright, cool. I was beginning to wonder if one would ever come. I don't know if I have enough food to sell. Alright, let's just trade. We don't expect much of a trade. Yep, exactly what I was saying, Trash, about liking the software and not the company. The products are solid, and I bet the engineers who worked on them are good. But the engineers are often kept very far away from the management decisions. And management decisions, they look at spreadsheets and don't care about people that much. Yeah, at some point in the next few years, the elves will say, we will come to terms with you about how many trees you're allowed to cut, and it will be a small number. Though, in my experience, it's usually a larger number than I actually needed, so it hasn't been an issue. Alright, I don't even want to look at all of these slabs, because all they're going to say is died from dehydration. And it will say it was Valjurai's fault. It wasn't a giant, wasn't a friggin' scorpion made out, 12-foot tall scorpion made out of amethyst. It was bad management by a dragon. Yep, I'm keeping an eye on that. The items themselves are in... Oh yeah, and because my trader has no skill, I have no prices on anything. I'll just gonna get the rapport going, I guess. But I'm gonna sell the items and not the bin themselves. Alright, let's see. Do they even have anything? Okay, plums, pears. Things you can make alcohol from. There. Now get off my lawn, elves. My frozen lawn. Get off. Okay, so I don't think anybody's going to die from thirst now. I think we've got that all set. We've got some millet? I suppose millet is a seed, isn't it? Radish. Let's put down a couple of random... Whoops. Couple of growing plots. I'll probably tear these out sometime later. But for now, just anything. Come on, give me a solid spot, please. There's a solid spot. Get some outdoor veggies going. The application is VTube Studio. I'm sure there must be others out there. It's just the one that this was made for. It's free. It's relatively intuitive. It's not too hard to use. In my group of people I know here who do streaming and stuff, there's one who makes models, and so I set aside and saved up a little bit to have them make this dragon for me. This dragon is not probably obviously a dragon, but it comes from my own sort of narrative background, books that I have half written and should probably finish someday, and I wanted to have to stare at it to a certain degree to remind me, hey, you should be writing your novels, damn it. So these clan dragons, this one's a clan dragon. They're maybe 10 foot at the shoulder. And they're long. They're shaped more like a velociraptor. So the fact that it's a front view kind of hides what its shape really is. And in the world it comes from, there's also things called solo dragons, which are, like 20, 30 feet at the shoulder. They don't have wings. They just have 4 arms, kind of like a, I don't know, dragon horse with a really long tail. Der Altman sagt. The tile set? Oh. This tile set is Phoebus. Phoebus. And it's, heck, I love that suspense. It gets me. It's Phoebus. And it's sort of a collection of different people's works on like the animal graphics and stuff. When you download it, you find there's like 6 or 7 different subdirectories with people's different tiles. One of those, it's like maybe a dozen animals, but one of those is my wife's work. So if you get the Phoebus tile set from the official servers, you're also getting some of my wife's work intermingled with it. This version that I'm playing now has a few more added on that are my work, but are not actually publicly available anywhere except GitHub. If you were on GitHub and you looked up raw dwarf meat, you could find a slightly more added onto version of Phoebus than is available officially. But it's only adding a few things like holy creatures and dread creatures that they have, like they're evil and good versions of things, and a couple, just not much more, but a few extra things. And mostly my work added a lot more vocabulary. There's a lot more words, and also food. Frig, I never looked at food. I do need to go soon, but I want to look at food first. Where is that stored? I know there's at least 1 barrel with food in it. Prepared food barrel. Okay. So I went into the raws and I added more kinds of food. They're all still minced because that's not something you can change. But you see we've got some sandwiches. There's some cherry chips. Dwarven ale pasta. You can't get that normally. That's in my work. Is there any others? Seeds. Cider. I don't think I have a lot of food right now. Subscribe. Do it now. Subscribe again. Do it. Catch me on Twitch. Follow me there. Subscribe here. Follow me on Twitter if you want. All the things you're supposed to be doing.